and the funniest story was he didn't know I was in the bathroom. So I'm sitting in the bathroom, doing bathroom things, and and the door handle for the bathroom was like falling off anyway. It was an older house. So he grabs the door handle. Well, it was locked on the other side, and the whole thing just comes apart. So my side of the door handle just falls onto the floor, and he's got the other door handle in his hand. And I'm like, hey, I'm in here.
Welcome to RC Underground Radio.
Yes, I realize I look like an idiot with this mustache, and I'm okay with it.
The ultimate podcast that covers everything RC.
You don't need to cut anything either. You can just call this the raw, uncut episode. We can leave it at that.
The raw. Yeah.
Are you drinking dollar store soda again? Quit spending your money on RC stuff. You can buy some name brand soda.
RC Underground Radio is your backstage pass to the RC industry. With insiders that are shaping the future of the hobby. The future of the hobby.
When we bring this guest on, I guarantee people are going to go, are you kidding me? He wrote a song.
I did.
We're going to have to end this soon, huh?
Yeah, no shit. And we're going to have to edit this.
So, here are your hosts, Dave Brinkman and Ryan Ratzloff.
You've probably heard in the intro before where I say, when we bring on this guest, nobody's going to believe it. And wouldn't you say that's going to be true, Ryan?
It's happening. Yeah, it's definitely happening for sure.
So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing on Justin Haley. We're not here to talk NASCAR. Tonight, we're talking RC racing.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Come on.
Let's go. All right. So we want to welcome to the show, Justin Haley. Justin, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no problem. I've been playing hard to get for some time now. I know you guys have been wanting me on, and then we had intentions to do it in Chilibowl, and then obviously Chilibowl gets busy. So I texted Ryan last week. I said, hey, let's do it before the season starts up, because if we didn't do it now, I don't think I ever would have.
Yeah, things are going to get a little hectic, and you're right. Chilibowl was very hectic. Let's talk about the classes you ran, and we can talk a little bit about that driller in just a minute. Yeah,
so I've probably been in the RC industry for 3 years, maybe 4 at max. I feel like growing up, I always wanted to do RC cars, and I just thought it was cool. And then probably 2020, 2021, I really started getting into it and realized there was a loose dirt oval right here, not 10 minutes from my house, which was Race and Race at the time. So I went over there during an open practice night, and thought it was pretty cool. I just had a slash street stock, super street, which is still really what I run. I just love the class. And I've raced there a little bit. I've ran at Bump and Run a few times, which is not too far from the house. And then I've ran at Murph Dog's place, which is a carpet oval indoor. So for me, I don't have a lot of time to race RC cars other than the weekly show at Race and Race. So it always intimidated me to go out there. And that might sound crazy, but it's intimidating. I'm sure you've learned this, that I have to do everything 110%. I can't do anything at less than 100% or even close. So I've been wanting to go to the RC Chilibowl for so long, and I always talk myself out of it. For some reason. And I talked myself out of it this year. And I had planned to go to the Gateway Dirt Nationals with my modified. I was super excited about that event. Been trying to, go to that event for a long time. And it got to the week of the race, and I actually haven't really publicly said anything about why we didn't go, but you have to run mufflers because it's an indoor race. So we took the headers off the car to weld mufflers onto the headers, and we found really bad corrosion and the motor. So, I made a call. I was like, hey, we probably shouldn't go. So I didn't race Gateway. I know that this is off topic, but it's so on topic because so we didn't go to Gateway, and I was like bummed. I'm sitting at home all December, and I'd already entered for the Chili Bowl, but I didn't know if I was going or not. So I was like, you know what, I'll go. I haven't raced anything since Phoenix in the Cup car. I was going to go to Gateway, but we're going to Chili Bowl. So I made this decision like December 23rd. And I'd already entered, like, but I talked myself out of it. You enter so early, and then you there's so much time. So I'm like, well, I should probably order cars or something. And I've always been fascinated with the X-ray stuff. And so I entered into street stock, entered into SCB mod because I've never ran anything other than a / Mud Boss, a / Super Stock. I ran a late model out at Race, a loose dirt late model, 2 or 3 times. Max Floor built a car, and I just kind of ran it just for fun. But so I was just like, cool, like I'll do the beginner classes because I've never really raced anything and in RC, and I really didn't know what to expect. And Murph Dog and Max are like right here. I race against them every week, and I mean, they just blow my doors off. So I'm like, well, I can't do the class. If everyone's like Max and Murph, then I can't do the classes they run. So I should probably get in a class that probably is more my speed. So back to December 23rd, I ordered X-rays. I ordered the bodies. I was scrambling to try to find a B-mod body. Thankfully, MR Customs had one, and then, got on the Shark RC website, ordered a smoke screen, and then we were off. So I called Murphy up, and I'm like, hey, I need help. I need to do something because I have no idea. I mean, I've ran some associated B-mod stuff, but again, very fascinated with the X-ray stuff, super adjustable, and it just looked like good quality. So went to Murph Dogs at like, you know how Murphy operates. It's all like midnight oil type situations. So, I mean, I go over there, in the depths of the night with these 2 X-ray boxes and some wrenches, a 2.0 and a 2.5 and a 7.0. And I'm like, hey, let's do this. And he was building his own Chili Bowl cars. So he was just kind of giving me advice. Like, I was just building it by the book. Yeah. And then, like, he would kind of watch out of his corner of my eye me do something wrong, and then like kind of shake his head and come over. I didn't know like the turnbuckle thing where you have to run it. You don't have to, but you kind of run it on the device to pre-thread the turnbuckle. So learn that. So anyway, I loaded all of it up, and we went to Chili Bowl. We had a great time. So yeah, like 2 weeks before I decided I was going to go, and that was that.
Let me make sure I understand this. You never drove a buggy street stock. You never drove a buggy-based car before, and you drove a little bit of SC mod, but nothing like this before. Incredible.
I probably have 5 B mod starts, probably 25, 30 street stock starts and a / street stock, some Mud Boss stuff, and then like I said, probably 2 late model starts, just with what Max had spare left over hanging on his wall. So this was my first time in a buggy street stock, and it's so, the week is so long. I'm sure you noticed this. I unloaded, and my buggy street stock was so bad, and I went out, did 1 run on practice day in my B mod, and I was like, I went straight to the top of the board in B mod. I'm like, dude, this thing's killer. And then it turns out by the end of the week, the B-Mod couldn't get out of its own way, and my street stock was fast.
Your street stock was just incredible. It was funny, 'cause I think you and I ran B-Mod together in the same heats. And right out of the gate, it's like, ooh, boy, move over for this cat coming. You know, like he's.
Yeah, I was watching, on Live RC, and man, the way you were center off the corner was just a monster down the front and the back stretch. And you would literally look like you would and just let somebody get into the corner, and then boom, you would just set them up and take them.
Yeah. Like I said, thankfully I had a good group around me. Obviously, really good friends with Max Floor and Murph dogs right here in town. So I have great assets, not but 5 miles from my front door. So I think they're, probably two of the top, whatever in the country. So that was super cool. When I got there, Paul Peterson of Shark introduced me to Will Engel, and he runs Tech Light Chassis, and he does a bunch of X-ray conversion kits and builds X-ray stuff. So he kind of came over and looked at my stuff and told me I was out of my mind with some of my setup stuff, and he helped me with my shocks. My shocks, they had rebound in them, and it was like a rush build. So I was just trying to throw it together to get there, and it was tough competition. Drake was tough. I mean, and the worst part about it is I didn't race Drake till the feature time.
Yeah.
I mean, with how the format is, I never raced him, and you don't know how he's going to drive you. You don't know how the other competitors are going to drive you. You don't know how they race because you haven't raced with them. So yeah, no, I mean, it was obviously a pretty successful week. I know, on the drive out there, I took some buddies because we were having fun. I mean, they didn't race. I just kind of was like, hey, like, let's go out there and drink and have fun. And, my wife had gone to Florida for a little bachelorette trip. So I took the boys out to Oklahoma, and, they were like, well, what would be a good week? And I'm like, well, I think a heat race win would be pretty cool, and low, and then here we are sitting here. So, I don't know if I could do it again, but, kind of circling around, I put so much into this, I mean, you kind of saw, you would stop by and check, and, I think I get read the wrong way a lot of the times, because I'm super quiet and my brain is always turning. I mean, you see some of those people that just don't speak a lot, but you can kind of see through their eyes that their wheels are spinning. And that's kind of me to a T. So if you just kind of see me like off and around, I probably don't say much just because I'm in deep thought. And, of course, my wife, Haley, struggles with the same thing with me, or I'll just say something out of the blue and she'd be like, am I supposed to know what you're thinking? Yeah. So a lot of times I get read wrong, and I'm kind of a shy, reserved guy, and especially kind of in my position, you don't really know if someone has a preconceived thought of you or what you're about or your values or anything. But my whole deal is, and especially going to RC Chilibowl, is I just wanted to bring value to it. I'm obviously not the biggest star in the world, and at the end of the day, there's a point in your professional career where you grow up as a kid racing, and all you do is race, and you love to race, you love the competition. There's a point in all of our careers where it's not so much about that. There's a lot more you have to do. You have to retain sponsors, keep sponsors, and there's professionalism to it. Doesn't mean I'm not having fun, but it's definitely a different level. And what I've found in RC racing, and especially the week of Chilibowl, for majority of it, is that I was just a guy that was the same as everyone else, and we were racing. We were on the same level. I loved just competing, and that's probably the most people I've talked to at a racetrack in a decade, just because of the atmosphere of RC racing, and that's what I love, and that's why I've kind of grown fond to it. Yeah, I feel like it does also help me with, some of the big car stuff with hand-eye and just mechanical thinking, but RC racing is so low pressure to me that it has brought the fun back into it, and I really enjoyed, my time and hanging out and talking to people, and that's why I love it so much. That's why I'm starting an RC track. I don't know if you guys know, our local dirt oval closed down, and Ray came to me and was like, hey, I don't want to leave everyone else hanging. Will you start a track for me? And I was like, sure thing, So I have Dark Horse Race Club. We're still in the beginning phases of it, but it's going to be a covered, not enclosed, but a covered loose dirt oval. And I just want to bring value to the sport. I probably had 20 or 30 people throughout the whole week come over to me and say, hey, like, I had no idea this existed. I was in the big chili bowl. I saw your social media, and I thought I'd hop over here, and that's what was cool to me is I was bringing value. And then also, I throughout the week, you don't know this, David, because you weren't there, but by the end of the week, I had almost every kid in that building had a JH hat on. I was branding every single kid in there, and
Nice.
it kind of started with one, and it was two, because I use my merchandise trailer is what it is. So when I go dirt racing, big car dirt racing, I have merchandise and I sell it. Well, I had only cleared out half the trailer, and all the hats and things were still in the trailer. Yeah. So, a kid came up and was like, wanted a picture. And so I was like, I'll give him a hat. Yeah. And then he started wearing around. And then by the end of the weekend, it had to have been almost every kid had a JH hat on.
Every kid had a JH. He was rocking some kind of gear, whether it be a hat, a shirt. Yeah. It was awesome. In fact, I want to thank you too, Justin. We met some great people there. Hunter Carey and his dad Jamie.
Awesome.
Yeah,
people.
He was dude, that kid, man. The world needs more of him.
The first time I saw him celebrate on the driver's it just like takes you back, and you're like, this is just unbelievable. It's really what it's about. There's so much intensity in that building, and so many egos, and people wanting to do good, and then there's Hunter, right, just having the time of his life, and it recenters you for sure. Awesome to see him and his dad there all weekend. It might have been one of the highlights of my week, really, truly. And he could wheel too. He was.
What Walecki said to me? You know what, Walecki? I'm dead serious. Walecki and I are standing and pitting for Tony, and he goes, dude, that Hunter kid's going to smoke you in B-Mod. I was like, come on, man. He goes, no, he's going to. And he did.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not for lack of effort, but the kid just housed me. He was just a good, smooth driver, and he really listened well. And it's funny, you asked Jamie, hey, Jamie, he's up there hooting and hollering, and he goes, Ryan, every time I told him he did a good job, that's when he really started, woo, and you know how we'd get on the driver's stand. Yeah. That was really for me too. Really, the highlight of Chili Bowl was meeting him and his father, and that bond that those two had, and that smile on his face. But again, thank you for donating some gear.
It wasn't about that. I was like, man, I just got so many boxes of hats in here, like I just handed them out like candy. So
that was very cool. Folks, are you looking to gain a 10th on the racetrack, or maybe get a few ladies like Taylor Swift in your pit stall? Well, I'm sorry to say that Carpies can't work miracles in those departments. But here's the good news. The folks at Carpies can definitely help you become the ultimate toy car nerd, just like me. How, you ask? Well, with their custom wraps and killer collection of official RC branded merch. So while they can't promise to shave a 10th off your lap time, they can save you 10% on your next order with promo code RCU10 upon checkout at carpies.com, CARPYS.com. Wrapping winners since 2013.
Hey, Ryan, we got big news. Papa Willie's has asked if they could be a part of the RC Underground Radio.
It's good stuff. Like the smell.
Do you use it as a cologne? That's a question.
I don't wear it, but it gets on me.
I've looked at some of their social media. They really like to have fun.
It's good to promote his kindness as well. He likes to have a lot of fun. You see it in all of his promotions, and we're certainly going to jump on that train. But when you're buying his product, know you're buying from a good guy who really supports this hobby and supports our mission, and that's to grow it and support racers and racetracks throughout the country.
For sure. So stay tuned, everybody. It's gonna be a fun ride.
Yeah, what a week. What a week it was.
Justin was sharing some speed secrets on slashes. I will take them to the grave, both Jason and I. But he's talking about setups and doing some trick stuff with bodies and all of that. I'm like, man, this dude is legit. Like, how can you not appreciate the effort that you put into it? Some of the stuff you got going on, dude, and your race program with RC cars is pretty intense. As far as rebuilding diffs after runs and a weekend, especially with Slash. Hell, I may go through mine 3 or 4 times in a season. You're doing it after every race. Like, you don't mess around with this stuff. You take it very seriously.
Yeah, and honestly, that's just where I'm at. I mean, I'm in Mooresville, North Carolina, and I've been in the Cup scene. I've been in NASCAR, and when you're here living in this environment and you go into a Cup shop every day, you just get so particular about everything. It's how I run my dirt car program. It's how every Cup car that I sit in is perfect. Every bolt is just perfect on every car, and I've gotten super particular about everything I do, and it's just the environment that we live in. I mean, being here in this garage, I mean, it's unlike anything that you can even explain. So, I mean, I carry that over to my RC car. Like, there wasn't a CV joint, a bearing, a diff I didn't replace after every single run. And, lucky I can do that. And I have the means to do that. I mean, it's RC car parts, but, bearings stack up. But when you're racing somewhere like that, and that's what I told you guys, that I replaced the spur and pinion after every single run.
It's legit.
2 minute, 3 minute run. I mean, obviously not on practice day, but if I was going into a race, the car was completely disassembled, I would go through it, take the motor apart, look at the motor, make sure there was absolutely zero wrong with any part of the car, because the intensity is so high that you only have that 3 minute run or that 34 laps in street stocks. And if you had a small problem, it just dropped you. And that's the environment I live in. When I walk into the Cup garages on Sunday, the intensity is so high. And that's what I feel like I thrive in. So I've ran my dirt car program like that. I'm not putting a whole new car underneath it anytime. I'm replacing, I'm cleaning the CV joints, making sure, all the bearings are good, replacing the ones that even have the smallest hiccup in them. The only thing I really did was replace the spur and pinion every time, and then just completely go through the car, because we had 15 hours to do it. So why would you not?
Right. But that's what's cool. And that's why I'm getting back to, haters are going to hate, but there's no way anybody can hate on you, because you leave nothing to chance.
Luckily I have that knowledge and willpower to do all that. And I learned so much. I mean, I am so much more knowledgeable, as we all are. You go there and you race against those people, what you can bring home is, I mean, it's just unheard of. I mean, I learned so much about tires and who knows what. Just everything, every piece of the car, I learned something about, and I feel like, what I really thrive in is just exploiting everything I can out of a car. And I talked to you about the slash stuff, right? As Murph Dog says, I don't think you want to race me in a spec class, because I probably have more time and thought to put into it than anyone else. So
he was telling us some stuff, and Jason and I, our eyebrows will go, that makes a lot of sense. And damn it, why didn't we think of that?
So what he is of 1RC, I feel like I am of slash street stocks.
I'll give you that, because you honestly, you were no slouch. So I didn't know if you knew this, but there's a website called RC Garage. And every time that we run a track with, my laps, and it all goes through Live RC, all those statistics get recorded.
Oh, really? So every race I've ever done is on there.
Every race, with the exception of 2024. Chilibowl's not in there, which is so goofy.
So you have all my stats forever.
So I've got 45 competitions you've been in. You've raced in at least one class, been to 2 racing tracks. So this might be off a little bit.
No, that's bump and run and race. That's all I've done, because Murph Dogs is just 1RC.
Yeah, but that actually records. That records as well.
Oh, okay.
So it might be off a little bit. Again, this is the internet we're talking about here. 119 other racers you've raced against. You've overtaken 99 of them at least once. You've hit the podium 35 times with 15 wins. So, again, this internet statistic, 45 competitions, hit the podium 35 times with 15 wins. Not too shabby. And that does not include your driller from the Chilibowl. So
could be better.
Yeah, we got to get that thing to update, but
Yeah, I know.
pretty damn impressive.
I don't want to get too many starts under my belt, though. I don't want to upset too many people. So I gotta keep my below 50. So
yeah, we don't want
like I said, I've never really done this. I mean, I don't know. Again, what I pride myself on is the mechanical side of things. I'm fortunately enough that I feel like my hand-eye is okay, and I get by on that. I mean, I would have been more backtracking to what I did in the hauler. I would have been more disappointed in myself having a mechanical failure than I would have spinning out on my own.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how much I care about it. I mean, what I do on the track is what it is, and I carry that throughout all of it. After the race is over, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the car just has to be perfect. I mean, I don't know if you saw me waxing the car with the spray wax at any point.
You spray waxed your body?
So I have it's not a secret formula, but it's it's something we use. So in SEB mod and street stock, we always went on a fresh track, right? So you go out there, do your 3 laps, knock as much mud off as possible. Well, we have this formula that we use in the cup cars and speedways. We use it on the dirt car, but basically no mud can stick to it. Make sure you do not get it on your tires. I didn't tell you about that. I didn't tell you everything. I told you about a quarter of my tricks.
I'm not looking for all of them because I don't want to screw myself up. But
you know what impressed me again about the X-Ray. I mean, I just went online and bought these off. I actually think I bought these off A Main. But what was in the kit is what raced. There was not a single manufacturer option part put onto any of my cars. They were out of the box, race ready, besides body mounts, obviously. Sure. And that's just mind-boggling because you see the Associated guys have, I mean, hundreds of dollars worth of all kinds of crazy stuff on their cars. I mean, there wasn't a single chassis weight. There was no weights at all on any of the car. It was all, I literally took the cars out of the box, put them together with what was in the box, and I raced them. And I was just so impressed with the build quality. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever be able to race X-Rays again at the Chilibowl. So I'm looking for a new manufacturer for the bigger classes. But all right, we'll have to see. But yeah, if you need some help on X-Rays for next year, I'll let you know.
Yeah, are those cars for sale?
They're not. So I don't know. The B mod kind of pissed me off at the end. But
dude, you got screwed. You got screwed.
No, it was always. I feel like I was a wrecking ball out there. I mean, I feel like I hit everyone, caused all the damage. So it's 4 minutes out of your life.
Right.
It's a crazy experience. We sat there and put so much time and money and effort into 4 minutes of our life. Yeah. I mean, we drove 30 hours to get there for a 4-minute race at the end of the 4 minutes decided the whole thing. And that's what's crazy about racing. So my car, I actually have it sitting right next to me. It is not for sale. It is raced once, and that is it. So, but I did take it all the way apart, and I have every single measurement known to man off the car.
That's what's up.
And I will be selling the setup at a high price.
All right.
Nice.
Let me know what that price is. I'll Venmo. Right. I gotta ask you too, because we got our good friend Paul Peterson, and he's a goofball, but we all love him. His heart's in the right place, and he comes out with some awesome stuff. So, tell me about how you got hooked up with Paul.
Yeah, so I think you guys live in Wisconsin, so you kind of know him. But just order his bodies. I just ordered his bodies and races, obviously / street stock bodies forever. And I don't remember quite how the conversation started, but we got to texting or whatnot, and we used to race at Road America in Wisconsin and the Xfinity stuff. So flew up to Road America. It would have been oh man, I sound old. Probably it was my last year in Xfinity, so 2021.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay.
And go up there, and I had dinner with him at a little Mexican place somewhere in Wisconsin. And
Did he shut up the entire time, or did he
well,
just keep
so
talking?
if you
Did he
know
pick up
Paul,
the check? That's the thing.
this-
Did
Well, I
he
know
pick up
Paul.
the check?
so if you know Paul, you will know what I'm talking about here. We had lunch and dinner in the same sitting.
Yeah.
And I mean, he told me his life story. I was interested, and I think what he's doing is cool. I mean, it's pretty cool that he puts. I mean, it's his life, right? So,
Yeah.
I brought him and his brother out to Road America, got him pit passes, and they had a good time or whatnot. Showed him around the hauler and did the whole deal, and then we kept in contact ever since. And I just ordered bodies from him, and that's what it was. So then he came to do the RC Street Stock Worlds or something. I don't know. Obviously, I've never raced it, but I don't remember where it was. But we were kind of on the way through, so he was like, "Hey, I got this / Street Stock. The Worlds are Friday, Saturday, whatever." And race our loose dirt track raced on Wednesdays, and he's like, can you set the car up and for the track? And I was like, all right. So he stopped at the house, and he got a hotel. I set up his car, and we went and raced. And he always makes fun of himself for his performance that night because he was pitting out of my trailer and whatnot. I had my car, and he saw what my car did. I mean, I probably won, and he's doing donuts in the infield. He never turned his dual rate down, so we got him figured out towards the end of the night. And we just kept in contact ever since. I mean, I've been honest with him about his bodies. Obviously with the industry I'm in, I have a lot of hot takes on Aero and what he should be doing, and I feel like he's been open with me. I've been open with him, and I feel like we've developed a lot of the bodies together based on my feedback. I don't want to take credit for it. He still sits there and does all of it, but I give him a lot of feedback, and I think he relies on me for a lot of it. So, and he's a smart guy too. I mean,
he is.
He's pretty dialed. So,
yeah, no, I that's, you can definitely tell your influence with a lot of his bodies because they've gotten a lot better.
If he does about half. He can get away with about half of what I tell him to do. If he really did a body like I wanted, there probably wouldn't be many people happy with me, which I don't know if there is anyway.
I'd buy one.
But so then how we got connected really, and how I was pitted with him for the RC Chilibowl is when we were talking about it early on, he was like, I'm going down there and I paid for this vendor spot and whatnot. And he was like, what are you doing? Like, are you staying somewhere? Are you staying at a hotel? Like, what's your plan? I'm like, I think I'm going to make it a boys trip. And I got a, big Airbnb, if you want to stay or whatnot. Like, and he's like, oh, like, cool, talk. And then so we started talking about it. And he's like, are you taking your trailer? I'm like, yeah, I'm taking my trailer. Like, I'm not driving 15 hours without a trailer. I can tell you that much.
Right.
And he's like, well, I'll make a deal with you. Run my body first of all, and so I ran his smoke screen, and he's like, I'll let you pit in my spot or whatnot, and as long as I can stay with you. Which it happened to be the running joke. So he stayed at my house. I got his, kind of vendor spot or whatnot. He still took the front half of it. And that's how I was pitted with Paul. And then, actually, pretty funnily, I didn't want to buy the smoke screen when he originally told me about it. I was like, man, I don't know. Like the roof on that thing is it's got no downforce, and it's it's too curved. And he's like, nah, it's putting all of it on the deck lid. It's going to be more. And I've only ran decked bodies.
Right.
So I had actually ordered a buggy. I don't know the names of them, but I ordered a different buggy street stock body from him. And he's like, what are you doing with that? I'm like, oh, I'm racing a Chilibowl. And
did he go, no.
Yeah, this is, December 23rd. Well, I never called Paul and told him I wasn't going.
Good. That's perfect.
So Paul doesn't know that he almost didn't have a house.
Oh, he would have been staying with us then. Thank you so much.
Probably would have been better. And so yeah, then he called me up. What was it, like December? Yeah, right after Christmas or something. And he's like, "Hey, like, are you still planning on going? I haven't heard from you in a few months." And I'm like, "Well, Paul, I am." And he's like, "Okay, cool, like, whatever." So that's when I ordered the body, and he called me back. And he's like, "Why'd you order a body? Like, why'd you order that body?" And I'm like, "Because we just had a call. Like, I'm going." And so he's like, "No, like, the smoke screen is the way to go." He's like, "Drake has won on this body, and Drake has done this, and these guys are running good with this body." And he's like, "I'm telling you, the smoke screen is what you need to order." Yeah. I got back on my phone and ordered the smoke screen and got it from him, and was impressed. I mean, it was amazing. So that's how I got hooked up with Paul. I don't know if he had fun housing with us.
He did. He told some stories. You guys.
Well, we went in. It was an older house. It was, and the funniest story was he didn't know I was in the bathroom. So I'm sitting in the bathroom, doing bathroom things, and the door handle for the bathroom was like falling off anyway. It was an older house. So he grabs the door handle. Well, it was locked on the other side, and the whole thing just comes apart. So my side of the door handle just falls onto the floor, and he's got the other door handle in his hand. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm in here." And he just like laughed the whole time. So then I was stuck in the bathroom. He wouldn't let me out. So yeah, it was a fun time. I love running Paul's bodies. I actually, I just ordered some more bodies from him, some more smoke screens. I wanted to do replica bodies for some of the people that really helped me out in a large way. Cool. And so I got on because I run a modified smoke screen body. So when I ordered them, I had to text him to tell him that I needed different headlights for my modified smoke screen stuff. So he thought that was funny, and he got them to me. So I've been doing some replica bodies for, just the guys that kind of helped me. I took some of my buddies out there, so I got them some, and my motorhome driver drove me out there, so I wanted to do something for him and things like that. So obviously I'm loyal to Paul just because of, I think he does have the best stuff, and in the areas that it might lack compared to competitors, I feel like I can exploit to be better than the competitors with his body. So but everything else, I mean, I'm just kind of like a freelancer, right? Like if I want something, I just get it, and I don't care. I mean, I want the best no matter what I'm in, and that's for everything.
RC is actually pretty affordable. I mean, when you get down to it, once you've got the chassis purchased, then you're buying the goodies. I mean,
really the most expensive part of it is the electronics.
Yeah.
And you don't have to replace those every run. So I'm putting a $5 spur gear on and a, $6 pinion. And that's why I liked it. I mean, the big car stuff, like I said, I own dirt modifieds, and I have a dirt modified team. And, obviously there's financial decisions you have to make. And, one of those financial decisions was, not going to Gateway. Like I mentioned, I mean, I could have ruined that motor. I mean, it was running fine, but, financially you just don't know. So,
right. Yeah. You've got a, $40,000 motor. The last thing you want to do is grenade it.
Make a $5,000 repair, a $40,000 repair. So, I mean, and in that sense, it's, I'm very fortunate and very blessed and lucky to be able to, spend my money on RC parts and help the RC industry and promote the RC industry and make the RC industry better. And that's all I want to do. So again, that's looping back around. That's why I'm starting this racetrack here to pick up the racers locally. I don't want it to be anything big. I'm not, looking to make a fortune off it or even $1. If I can break even at best, I'll be okay. And fine with it as long as I'm helping the industry. And that's kind of what, me and Scotty had at the end of the week is hey, you know, I'm here just to have fun and help the industry.
So let's take a break right there. That's going to be the end of episode 1. Some great conversation with Justin Haley. We're going to have more for you next week, so make sure you tune in. He's going to talk a little bit about how he wants to get some of his NASCAR buddies involved in the sport of RC. Be sure to tune in. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to the RC Underground Radio Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your fellow racers about the show. Tune in again next week for more RC content.